Hi everyone, my name is Ms. Matheson and I am the Head of Technology for Remote Learning at St. Augustine's Priory. Welcome to another video tutorial for remote learning. In this video, I will be guiding you through how to use Google Classroom for students and also some parents who are interested as well. In this tutorial, I will be covering how to join classes and accept invitations to a class from your teacher, how to use your dashboard, how to change your notification settings, which controls how many emails you're getting and how you get those emails, how to use your to-do list, which is a brilliant little organizational tool which helps you know what you have to work on next, how to comment, ask questions or reply to your classmates or to your teacher, both in the stream and regarding certain tasks that you have to do, how to find all your classwork tasks and keep track of what you need to do next. There's a couple of ways of doing that to help you stay organized. Very, very importantly, how to submit work when you have a task due and what to do if you get an error message when you're trying to submit work. I will also show you how to join a Google Meet from your Google Classroom and how to find people's email addresses so you can email them really easily as well. Okay. Before we begin, you need to make sure you've done a few things. Number one, you need to have read and signed the St. Augustine's Priory Code of Conduct for online learning. Number two, you need to make sure you're using Chrome as your browser. So if you're using a Microsoft-based browser or an Apple-based browser, switch those off now and open up Google Chrome. If you don't already have it on your device, it is a free download and mum and dad might help you actually do that and install that on your device. It's also a free application on your smartphones or tablets and you can use it there just as easily. We use Google Chrome because it works best with all of our different kinds of software because we use a lot of different kinds of software at St. Augustine's. Some of it is Microsoft-based, some of it is Google-based, and we also use the VLE. And these all work really well on Google Chrome. It also meets all of our safeguarding requirements, so that's why we choose to use that one. Make sure, as number three, make sure you are signed into your @sapriory.com Google account. You will not be able to access any of your schoolwork if you are not signed into your school account. And you will have to repeatedly ask permission from your teachers to access things, and they will say, no, you are not allowed to because you need to be using your school account. If you are using a device in a household where lots of different people in your house are using the same device, or if you are logged in and using a personal Google account on the same device, it may change which account you're using at any one time. So whenever you open a new window or a new tab, you need to check your Google icon and make sure that you are using your @sapriory.com account. I will show you how to do that in a moment. Remember, for this video, you can pause or replay any part of this video anytime. So if I'm going too fast, or if you are just not following what I'm talking about, or if you're just still a little bit confused, don't worry, press pause, replay it, and come back and do it again. All right, so let's dive in. To start with, as I said, you need to have signed in to your @sapriory.com Google account. Now you can see here on my screen, I've just come into the Google homepage, the Google search engine page, which is my default screen that I come into when I'm using Google Chrome. In the top right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little circular icon up here. And if you're logged into an account, it will show up either with a picture that you have put as your image for that account, or just an initial, a letter that comes up with your account. If you roll your cursor over that account, you can see which account you're currently logged in through. You can see there when I put my cursor over this one, I am logged into my cmatheson @sapriory.com account. This is the same as your email address, and you will have a Google login that the IT department has provided you to log into your Google account. If you do not have an icon showing up here at all, you might have a little blue button that says sign in, or you can just Google any of the Google applications And as you click on that application and go to that application, it will prompt you through the sign-in process. If you are having trouble signing into your account, you need to email it@sapriory.com. They will help you out with any of your account login problems. And they are very quick to respond. So please do ask them for help if you're having trouble accessing your account, or even if you've just forgotten your password. It happens to the best of us. Okay, I'm going to go into Google Classroom itself now, and you can access that a couple of different ways. I like to go to this little icon in the top right-hand corner, which is called the waffle, or the 9-dot grid square. And it's a pull-down menu for all your applications that you use all the time. So if I click this, I will see what applications I use frequently. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to change which account I'm logged into, because I need to show you everything from a student point of view, not from a teacher point of view. So I'm going to click on this one. You can see that I use a couple of different accounts on this computer, and I'm going to log in as test user 1, which is our little sample student person that we're going to be today. Because I use that account with this computer regularly, it didn't ask me for a password. I've already saved my password. But if you haven't saved your password, then it will ask you to enter your password for security reasons. Now that I'm in this page, I'm going to go back to my waffle, and I'm going to click on the classroom icon, which is this little green and yellow blackboard, whiteboard thing with some people on it. If you don't have that coming up in your application list, scroll down through your 2 pages of apps. If it's still not there, you can click on More from G Suite Marketplace down here, or you can simply type the name of the application you want into the search bar here, and it will come up. So let's go to Classroom now. Okay, when you come into your dashboard area, which is what this area here is called, this sort of open landing page to Google Classroom, you will see that each class has a little tile icon to show you all of the classes that you either are a member of or that you have been invited to join. If a teacher has sent you an invitation to join their class, it will show up with this blue button here saying join, or you'll have a grey option saying decline. Please don't press decline. Make sure you press join, because otherwise your teacher will have to send you another invitation, and you feel a bit silly for asking because you pressed the wrong button. So just pick the big blue button and press join if you want to join that class there. You can actually join a class in another way as well. You can come up to this plus icon here and say join class. So if you did actually press decline, you could do it this way, and it'll be really easy for you to join the class too. When you press on that plus icon, it will ask you for the class code, which is a 7-digit code. It includes both numbers and letters, and your teacher can give that to you. You can just type that in there, press join, and you will be able to join the class. That's a really simple way of joining a classroom as well. Once you've joined a class, it will look like one of these tiles here, where you can see that I'm a member of this classroom. We're going to go through what that class actually looks like from the inside of that classroom in a moment. First, I want to draw your attention to this other little icon up the top left-hand corner of your screen. Now, this appears on your dashboard and also within each of the classes when you go into that classroom. This little icon I like to call the burger because food-related puns are always good. So if you click on that, you get another menu. On this menu here, if you click classes, it will bring you back to this main dashboard. If you click calendar, it will take you to your Google Calendar, and that's a really great location to just put in your class schedule or anything that you have to add to a general to-do list. There is a lovely to-do list function on Calendar, which you can use to keep track of what you should be working on next. Speaking of to-do lists, this is your classroom to-do list. And if I click on this, it will show me all of the different tasks that I have to work on for all of my subjects. It will also show me if I'm missing any, if I haven't completed them yet and the due date has already passed, or the ones that I have coming up and when they are due. You can also tab across to the done list and see which tasks you have completed and handed in. From this screen here, you can also see if you've been given a mark back from your teacher. If you want to find out more information about an assignment that you have had marked, or any assignment really, you can click on that assignment. When you go into the assignment itself, you can see the mark in the top right-hand corner. Our test student here didn't do so well on this task. It was just a sample one. And you can also see on the right-hand side any comments from your teacher, any feedback on how you did on that task. You can also contact your teacher and add further comments back to them privately by adding a private comment and pressing post. You can also, I'll just go back up there. You can also have the option to resubmit. So if your teacher has let you resubmit a task, you'll be able to resubmit here. Some of your teachers, though, might say that one submission is all you're allowed for a task. So just be aware of that. Right, if I go back to my burger here, this pull-down menu, the other thing I want to draw your attention to is your settings option down here. If I click on that little gear lever, it's asking me if I want to leave this page. Yes, I do. Let's discard that. Come through to your settings menu, and this is where you can change your notifications. This little slider here, if it's turned blue, that means it's turned on. If it goes grey, that means it's switched off. And you can choose if you're going to get all email notifications or if you just want to receive some email notifications. You can also, down the bottom here, press this pull-down menu and switch on notifications for just a class or a couple of classes, or if you want to turn off notifications for one or just a couple of your classes, you can do that here as well. Some of your email settings that you might like to be aware of is you can get email reminders when you have work due and coming up soon. If a teacher has sent you an invitation to join a class, you can have that turned on. If you would like to know when your teacher has given you your work back or marked your work or given you any feedback, you can have that email notification on. And you can also have a range of notifications for just people commenting on your posts or your comments, or any private comments or public comments or other things there, work and posts from other teachers. So you've got lots of choices for your emails. Personally, for my classroom, I like to keep my email notifications switched off. That's just because I get quite a lot of emails every day already, and I'm in Google Classroom every day, so I can see if I've had anyone post or comment or things that are due or anything like that coming up. I'm in there checking all the time. So if you're in there checking all the time, you might be able to turn that email notification off. But if you know that you need reminding when you have things coming up, then it's important to keep those switched on. Okay, I'm going to go back to my dashboard now, and I'm going to enter one of my classes and actually talk you through some of the parts of that classroom and what it looks like and how to use different sections of the classroom. So here's one of my actual active classes. This is my 3A English class. They have kindly agreed to me using their classroom on this tutorial video. This area of the classroom is your banner head, and here you can find the name of the class and the Meet link. So if you have a class that's happening on Google Meet, a live video conferencing class, this is the link that you need to click to go and join your class at the right time in that meeting. Please make sure that when you're doing that, you're adhering to our video conferencing etiquette that we've gone over previously and that is also outlined in the Code of Conduct. In this stream, you can also see on the left-hand side here any upcoming tasks. So if you have a task due in the next day or two, it will come up here. But please be aware, it will only come up here if it's due very, very soon. So if you have a couple of days before it's due, it's not going to appear here. This is your stream of your classroom, and this is where your teacher will post a lot of the information about what you're working on at the moment and what they want you to do. in lessons or what you're covering at the moment. If you want to comment or ask a question of your teacher, you can add a class comment. If you do this, everybody in the class will be able to see this comment. Don't be shy with doing this, because usually if you have a question about something, everybody else will want to know as well, or at least a couple of people in the class will probably want to know the answer to that too. When you have typed in your comment or your question, don't forget to press post. This is also where you can reply to other people's comments. And you can see here, I have done one earlier today where, as the test student here, I put a little comment in here, and one of my students has kindly written back and said, "Hi, test user 1, welcome to our class." If you want to reply directly to somebody else's comment, you'll see when you hover your cursor over it that a little reply button will come up in the right-hand corner, and you can hit reply and say, and it will at that person who you're replying to, and you can say, "Thanks so much," and press post. You can see then that I've got a nice little reply coming up in that stream. This is great if you're doing group work with some of the other students in your class and you want to talk to each other on that group work task, or if you want to ask a specific question or someone has asked a question in your class and you feel that you can answer it and help them out. That's a wonderful place for you to collaborate with your other classmates and talk about whatever your teacher has posted on the stream. So do use that. Don't be afraid to use it. Make sure you do follow by the general rules of etiquette when posting things, and don't put any comments in that aren't helpful. But if you think you have something helpful to add, please do put it in this stream post. And I'm sure your teacher will be really appreciative that you have actually participated in the conversation in the classroom. Now, how do you find your actual tasks that your teacher has set you? Well, you'll see at the top of the page here, you've got a couple of different tabs: Stream, Classwork, and People. Anytime you have a task that you need to complete, whether it's classwork or homework or a bigger assignment or anything like that, your teacher will put it in the classwork section. Oh, they can also put in documents that you need to come back and refer to all the time. Any sort of resources that they want you using regularly, they will probably put in classwork as well. I'm going to click on that classwork button now. You're going to see all of the different assignments and tasks that this class has been working on at the moment. All of your classwork is organized under topics. So if you're jumping between topics for a class, make sure you scroll down to the topic that you should be working on, or make sure that you're working on that topic that you should be focusing on and not accidentally using a task from a different topic. In here, you will see all of the different tasks that you have coming up. When you have not yet done a task, it will be a darker color. Now, the color for this class at the moment, Google automatically chooses the color. And they've chosen a gray color for this classroom. But sometimes some of your other classes might have different colors. If it's a dark color, that means you still have to do this task. When you have completed a task and handed it in, it turns this lighter color here. So that's a really quick and easy way of seeing what you have done and what you still need to do. In this column over here as well, you will see when the due dates are for each of these tasks. And your teacher might set you a due date and a time as well. I like to set my students some times to complete tasks by on certain days, just to keep them on track and scheduling their time a bit better. So you can see here, I've given them till the end of the school day, 1600, it's in 24-hour time. So you might need to learn how to use 24-hour time. If you're not familiar with that, 1600 is 4 p.m. in the afternoon. You can see here, this one, I've scheduled it for 2030, which is 8:30 p.m. at night. I generally don't like students working too late at night on the tasks that I work with them on. So I like to get them to ask them to get them in before about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Maybe some of the older students, I will allow them to go a bit later at night, but make sure you're not working on things for too long or too late at night. It's good to get into the habit of scheduling your time well. In the left-hand side here, you can actually find all of the topics that your task will be organized under. And up here in the top of our screen, we have a little button saying View Your Work. This is great because if you click that, it's kind of like your to-do list, but it's just for this specific class. If I click on that, it will show me all of the different tasks that I have for this class. If a task is assigned but it's not due yet, it will come up as assigned. If a task has gone past its due by date and you have not completed or submitted it yet, you will have a red missing over here. And this is very important for you to keep track of. Have you gone past the due date or the deadline that your teacher has given you? And do you need to get that work in straight away? If you have completed a task, you can see it will change this to a grey handed in sign. And if you submitted it late, it will say done late. If your teacher has marked your work and handed it back to you, your mark will actually show up here as well. And you can see if a comment, a private comment, has been added from your teacher. That will show up in that little speech bubble icon there. And that lets you know that they've written you some feedback for you to read. In the left-hand side of this area are some great little ways of filtering your results. So you can look up all the tasks that have been assigned that you haven't done yet, that you have to work on, all the tasks that have been returned with a grade, and any tasks that you have missing or outstanding, okay, that you've gone past that due date deadline and that you need to get in as soon as possible to your teacher. Or you might need to contact your teacher about that task. If I go back to my classwork page, if I want to go into a specific assignment, and you can go into it through View Your Work as well, I can click on that task and it will expand out. I'm going to scroll down my screen. You can see here the instructions that I've given to the students on this task. And I've also attached a couple of resources that they will need to complete that task. From here, you need to click on View Assignment, and this will take you into the assignment itself. You can still see all of that information, those resources, and this is a great place for you to ask any questions of your teacher or of your fellow students on how to complete the task. So if you're not sure how to complete a task, ask that question here, and don't be shy. Again, if you're having questions about how to do a task, chances are a couple of other people in your class are as well, and I'm sure they will appreciate you asking that question on their behalf. If you want to send your teacher a private comment and you don't want to comment publicly on a task, you can add a private comment here. And don't forget to press the post button after you've done that. Now, here's where it gets really important. You need to go into this square up here in the top right-hand corner to submit your work. You can see that for me, I've actually already uploaded a set of slides for this task. But say I put that in there, I want to change my mind. I'm going to delete that now and show you what it looks like from scratch. So when you haven't submitted anything at all for this task, you need to press the Add or Create button, and this gives you a couple of different choices. If you go down to the bottom of this list, you can create a new Google Doc, Google Slides, Google Sheets, or Google Drawings just by clicking on one of these links. If I do that, it will actually create a new Google slide for me, and it will name that Google slide with my own name at the front of that slide. That's a really useful thing to do, and it means also if you are creating a Google document or slide or any other file that you're uploading in any other way, you should rename that with your name at the start of that file name. And this means that your teacher will be able to really quickly and easily identify what work is from which student. And that is a big, big help, because I get a lot of submissions that don't have someone's name on them, and I can't find whose name or whose work that is. It's kind of like if your teacher gave you a worksheet in class and the first thing that you do is put your name at the top of the sheet. So getting into the habit of renaming any of your files with your name at the start of that file name is a really great habit. If I want to work on that, then I can just click on that and it will open up that Google document or Google slide, and I can start doing some new work in that actual slide itself. So this is a test document for us, sample slides for Google Classroom. Now, sometimes your teacher might ask you to share a document with them just personally through email. And if you're going to do that, you can press this share button up here. You'll see here that it's actually already shared with your teacher and with you, because it was generated, or you made this file through the Google Classroom. But you can also get a shareable link. Say that anybody with this link can, I'm going to change this to comment, because it's a good habit to get into when you're submitting something to teachers, that they can comment on that and copy that link. And it's copied it to my clipboard. I'm going to press done there now. If I go back into my classroom, you have a couple of other ways of submitting that work. So again, if I delete that from there, I'll show you from scratch how to do that. If I press add or create, you can link a URL here. So if you get a shareable link from a document, you need to press link here, and then you can paste that link straight into there and add the link, and it will upload that document in the same way. Other fantastic ways that you can add documents are you can upload something straight from your Google Drive. This is fabulous if you are using your Google Drive to organize all of your files and folders. I highly recommend that you do. It's a great alternative to storing things on the hard drive of your computer, and it means you can access those documents anywhere, anytime, no matter what device you're using, which is something that is really handy for all of us at the moment, because I know if you're like me, you're having quite a few members of your house using a number of different devices, and it's whatever is free at the time is the one that you need to be using. So you need to be not just saving things on your computer hard drive anymore. Try to opt for a cloud-based system. It's also safer and secure. I know if you're like me, I have lost documents in the past, or had them deleted, or my computer swallowed and ate them somehow. And I find that the cloud-based storage system is a lot safer. And keep in mind that the Google Cloud Storage System is covered by our safeguarding protocols. So you get additional security on there, and none of your documents are going to go missing or anything. If you do have a document go missing from your Google Drive, you can contact it@sapriory.com and they will help you get it back again, which is really great. The other way to add a file here is through this little paperclip icon, and this is where you are attaching something directly from your computer. Please note that there is no option here to upload a file from the Microsoft cloud-based system. Instead, you will have to download that file onto your computer and then upload it that way there. Another fantastic thing to keep in mind is that if you are handwriting any of your work, you need to take a photo of that work using a smartphone or a tablet if you've got one handy. I like to use my smartphone when I'm photographing some handwritten work, and then I have downloaded on my phone one of two different apps, or you can have them both on there just for safety's sake if you like. And those apps are the Google Drive app or the Google Classroom app. Those apps, all the Google suite of apps, are all free to download. and really, really simple and easy to use on a smartphone or tablet as well as on your computer. So if you are taking a photo with your phone and you have the Google Drive or Google Classroom app on your phone, then you can upload that photo straight into your Google Drive or straight onto the Google Classroom as well, which is really handy. And then you can come in here and find it on your Google Drive, or if you've uploaded straight to your Google Classroom, it will already be here. Now, one other thing that you need to make sure that you have done when you are submitting work is press the hand in button. If you have uploaded a document or file here, it will still show up on the teacher's page, but unless you have pressed the hand in button, this little red missing sign won't change and say that you have handed in the work. So make sure you remember to hand it in. This is great if you are uploading a file here and you don't want to press hand it in. That's great if you are still working on that file and you're not done yet. That's a really great way, and that makes your teacher can check on your progress before you've handed it in and maybe give you some additional feedback there. Once you've handed it in, that's your final submission saying, yes, I have submitted my work. I have definitely done it. It's ready for marking. So don't forget to click that one there. Otherwise, your teacher will say to you, you have work missing. You need to fix that. Okay, if you do hand in something and you get a little red error message coming up, usually down in your bottom left-hand corner down here. Oh, sorry, that's my screen recorder stuff there. Just ignore that. So you'll get a little red box coming up here with an error message. If you do get one of those error messages, it'll be one of two different problems that's going wrong. Number one thing that might be going wrong is that you are logged into your device through a couple of different Google accounts. And I find if I'm logged into two accounts at the same time in different tabs or different windows, my Google Classroom gets a little bit confused over who owns that document and who's submitting the work, and it just has a bit of a little tantrum there and gives me a red error signal. So if you're getting that red error signal, just check that you're not logged into any other Google account. If you are, shut those windows and tabs down and try it again, and you should have that error message disappear. If the error message is still coming up, the problem will be the ownership of that file. And you might find that the owner of that file is not your school account. Or if you have already submitted that file to your teacher previously, and then you've updated and changed some of that work and tried to upload it again, it will recognize your teacher as the owner of that file now. If that happens, there's a really simple fix. You go into the file that you're trying to submit, you go to File, Make a copy. You click the entire presentation. You rename it. I usually like to get rid of copy of, or you can keep that in there. Or you might say take two, or attempt two at the end there. That's a nice way of keeping track. And then you press OK. Once you have made a copy of that, it will recognize you as the owner of that new copied file, and you will be able to submit that new copied file because you are definitely the owner. So if you're having that error message come up, it's one of two things. Either you've got multiple accounts open at the same time, or it's not recognizing you as the owner of that document, that file. So you just need to make a copy, make sure you're the owner of the new copy, and submit that new copy instead. And then it will work beautifully for you. Okay, I'm going to come back into my classwork section here and show you a couple of other things at the top of the screen. You can see some little icons along here. These are brilliant little things too. If you press Meet, that will take you to the Meet for the classroom. That's another way that you can access that Google Meet. Make sure that you're there at the right time. Try not to be too early and be in the classroom without your teacher being there, but don't be too late either. Make sure you're on time and keeping to that schedule. If you're having trouble with scheduling, then click on your Google Calendar and you will be able to put in a whole lot of all your different class times and where you should be and when. And there's also a brilliant little function in that calendar that lets you write a to-do list for each day. And that's a really nice way of staying organized and keeping on top of what you have to do next. It also has a link to your class drive folder, which is your Google Drive, and all of the work that you have submitted through the classroom that's stored in a separate folder in your Google Drive. Now, Google's very clever. It actually makes its own little folder in your Google Drive that is called Classroom, and it stores all of your work that you submitted through there, which is brilliant, and it keeps it all nicely in one place. So like everything on the Google Suite, it is all saved automatically for you so that you don't have to worry about losing any of those documents or files. You can also find any of the documents that your teacher has shared with you in that same class drive folder. So if you're looking for a resource the teacher has given you and you can't find it and you can't remember which assignment or which post that they gave you that document in, you can go into your Google Class folder and literally type in the name of that document or part of the name of the document into the search bar and find it that way. That's a really easy thing to do. Having a look down these icons here as well, you can see if it's got a question mark on it, it is a question-based task. If it looks like this little clipboard document file type icon, that means it's a longer assignment style task, classwork or homework task for you to do. And you can also see this little icon here that's gray at the moment because I've looked at it a couple of different times. That looks like a little book with a bookmark on it is a document or resource icon. So if it's a resource that your teacher wants you to use for lots of different tasks, then they might upload a document that looks like this. Okay, that is our classwork section of our Google Classroom, and that is probably the most important section of the classroom and where you need to submit all of your work. Finally, I want to show you the People tab, and this is a list of all of the people that are members of this classroom. You can see the teacher at the top. You might have a couple of different teachers that are all using this classroom together. And then you can see the names of all your classmates that are in this classroom as well. It is, this little icon on the right-hand side is a really important icon. Now, if you just click on that link, it will take you to Gmail. Please don't do that because we have currently disabled Gmail as an application for receiving and sending email within the school. And the reason for this is because we use Microsoft Outlook as well, and the two don't talk to each other very well. They're not the best of friends, unfortunately. So we like to keep them a bit separate, and we've got Outlook turned on and Gmail turned off. So do be aware, if you click on that, it will take you to Gmail, and unfortunately anything that you send through Gmail won't go anywhere, it won't be delivered, and your Gmail account through there won't show anything that's in your inbox. So that's a bit of a pain. Just do remember that that's not how you go about emailing people. Please instead go into your Outlook directly, or you can access your email through the St. Augustine's Priory website page. But this is really handy to know because you can actually find people's email addresses on there too. So if you do need to find someone's email address in a hurry, you can just roll your cursor over that little email icon. Say I want to find one of my students' emails, then I can find that address there. And that's like a nice little contact list there for you as well. All right, there we have it. Those are all of the different components of the Google Classroom. I hope this has made it easy for you to understand how to navigate this page and how to hand in your work to your teachers. Oh, there is actually one other thing I need to talk to you about first. I think I did mention it earlier, but I do want to draw your attention one last time in the classwork section. If you go to view your work and go to tasks that have been returned with a grade, this is where you get your marks back and any feedback from your teacher. So if you have handed in a task that has been marked by the teacher, you can go into that one there. You can see your mark in the top right-hand corner here. If you go into, and you can see the comment from your teacher here. You can also go into view details and view the whole assignment there as well. And again, if your teacher has allowed you, you may be able to resubmit for a higher grade or improved work there. All right, that's everything. We've covered all of the different functions and features of Google Classroom today. I hope this clarified any confusion for you and it's a bit easier to understand how to use this piece of technology. If you are still confused, don't forget you can replay or go back to any certain point of this video and watch it again to just have a better understanding of what you need to do. And remember our very important think before you post rule as well. So before you post, comment, submit anything on any of our technologies at St. Augustine's Priory, make sure you think before you post. And that is think. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And most importantly, is it kind? So make sure you think before you post. One final thing, if you are feeling overwhelmed or frustrated at all while you are learning this new technology, then don't worry. This is a totally normal feeling. We all feel like this from time to time. If you are feeling this way, pause what you're doing, step away from the computer and go and take a break. Go and do something physical for 10 minutes, or go and hug your family or pat your pets, or do something that just takes your mind off things. And then when you feel your mind is clear and you're calm again, come back and keep working with a fresh set of eyes. If you have any requests for any additional training videos, please let us know, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.